Classic Art Readers, Level 2. The Works of Auguste Rodin. Copyright 2023, Seed Learning. All rights reserved. Introduction. François-Auguste René Rodin was a French sculptor. He was born on November 12, 1840, in Paris, France. Rodin's mother was Marie Scheffer. His father was Jean-Baptiste Rodin. Jean-Baptiste worked at a police station. Rodin didn't have any brothers, but he had one sister. She was 2 years older than him. Her name was Maria. Rodin was different from many artists. He was not famous until he was 40 years old. However, he started to improve at art as a teenager. At school. When he was young, Rodin had problems with his eyes. He couldn't see very well. He could see things close to him, but not far from him. This made him unhappy. At school, he couldn't see what the teachers wrote on the board. He had trouble learning math and science. However, he started to draw, and this made him happy. Rodin began to take art classes. By the age of 13, he had many skills as an artist. When he was 17, he applied to go to the École des Beaux-Arts. This was a very important art school in Paris. Rodin was very sad when he didn't get in. This happened 2 more times. However, in 1870, Rodin was called to go into the army. France needed more soldiers for the Franco-Prussian War, so Rodin went to fight with them. However, he didn't stay very long because of his eyes. Belgium. There wasn't much work during wartime. Rodin didn't have much money. He was invited to Brussels, Belgium, with another sculptor. In Brussels, they worked on decorations for public buildings and places. Rodin planned to stay in Belgium for a few months. However, he lived there for several years. In 1875, he traveled to Italy. While he was there, he studied the works of Donatello and Michelangelo. Rodin was inspired to change his style. He didn't return to Paris. Instead, he went back to Belgium. He started to work on one of his most famous sculptures, the Age of Bronze. The Age of Bronze statue is the size of a person standing up. Some people said Rodin cheated and that he used a real person to shape the statue. After this experience, he made most of his works bigger or smaller than real life. Therefore, people could not say he cheated. Rodin made his sculptures in clay. Once he was happy with his clay sculpture, other people would help him. They made a mold of his sculpture. Then, from this mold, the bronze or stone final sculpture was made. Back to France. In 1877, Rodin returned to France. In his free time, he worked on his art. He worked on a special piece of art. This became a very important work. It was called St. John the Baptist Preaching. Rodin got a job in a porcelain factory in 1879. At this factory, he designed jugs and other objects. His designs made the factory popular across Europe. At the same time, he became famous as an artist. Creating his famous works. In 1880, Rodin began creating the doors for a new museum of arts. He called them the Gates of Hell. Rodin was asked to finish them by 1884. However, he never finished. The doors show a scene from a famous book, The Divine Comedy. The scene has many small forms. There are around 200. The subject of the doors is love, pain, and death. Many forms he made for the Gates of Hell became bigger sculptures. These sculptures include his most famous work, The Thinker. Another of these sculptures is Eve in Despair. Rodin was very busy with the Gates of Hell. However, he also worked on other sculptures to make extra money. He was asked to create a monument for the town of Calais in the north of France. Some people did not like his style, and this caused problems between him and the people he worked for. One example is his monument to Balzac. The group who asked him to make it did not want it after they saw what he made. By 1900, Rodin was famous all over the world, and very rich people wanted to buy his works. He even made a statue for the famous writer George Bernard Shaw. On November 17, 1917, Rodin died in Meudon, France. Today, people see him as a great sculptor. His art inspires many people.